What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are jumping into the Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man, issue number 4. What we have seen so far is Peter Parker traveling to LA, conducting experiments with a scientist by the name of Crystal. But now awful nightmares have been afflicting Peter. This is all after he came in contact with a magical rock. At first, the visions filled with strange monsters, mazes, and a flame-dyed version of Spider-Man. This seemed nothing more than like a bad dream. That is until the monstrous demon bear crashed through the barrier between dimensions to deliver a message. Spider-Man has 3 days to find a mysterious maze and defeat the demon bear within. If Spider-Man is to lose, the Nightmare Realm will overrun the real world. After bonding to the rock, Peter is confronted by the demon bear again. Only this time, Spidey's using his new powers to even the odds. So make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this story, we are picking up Sometime Someplace. Crystal's grandfather telling her a story. Once there were 5 wolves. They were all brothers, they traveled together, they hunted together. They shared their food with the coyote. One time when the coyote took the food, he noticed the 2 younger wolves were looking up to the sky. When he asked what they were looking at, the 2 wolves decided to tell Coyote they saw something up in the sky. And so Coyote said that he can show them how to get up there. He took out his bow and he fired arrow after arrow. Threaded together, each arrow pierced a star, and together they formed a chain. Coyote had led the way as the 5 wolves had followed. In the distance, there were 2 large grizzly bears. Coyote didn't trust the bears, so he stayed behind. But the wolves liked the grizzlies. They decided to go, with Coyote looking up to the 7 of them and thinking to himself that they look good together. And when people stare at the sky, they will say that there is a story in that picture. This is the story of the Big Dipper. And Coyote continued shooting his arrows, which are the stars in the constellations that we know today. These are the stories that Coyote had left in the sky. And Crystal, just like the Coyote, they are storytellers. Stories can heal, but they can also harm. That there is great power in their stories and they must hold them sacred. Their stories are in the stars, just as they are here on Earth. Every rock, every tree holds a story, just as every crashing wave connects each of their lands from shore to shore, reminding Crystal to follow the stars. Follow them to their stories. As we pick up with Peter Parker, powered by the crows, something that he never thought he would ever have to say. He let the crows guide him as they flow through and around him, and they have led him to the confrontation with a demon bear. Being able to break away from the demon bear, him and Crystal go running. Not even sure how Crystal was able to get here, she lets Peter know that she came through a story. A story that took her to the sky and she crawled back out, exiting through her own eye. Right now, they are somewhere between the real world and the demon bear's world, almost like a junction between realms. But Spider-Man does believe that this rock has to be the culprit. At this point, Crystal has figured out that this is in fact Peter Parker. Randy and Janice still in the vehicle that is all webbed up. As Peter and her go to get them down, they are still in this junction realm. Not really sure where they are, how they got here, or what's going on. This is when Peter finally comes forward and lets her know everything. Now that she's figured out his identity, he is letting her know about the image that he had painted inside of her bathroom on the mirror wall. And to them, this looks like some kind of circuit pathways. The ones that they had soldered back at the laboratory, with Peter drawing this on the ground. They look very similar, thinking maybe if they combine these 2 symbols together, it may give them an answer. When they do, it looks just like the Big Dipper. And while Peter doesn't truly understand the significance of any of this, Crystal does. This is a map. This is a map to the maze. But as they figure this out, they see that their friends have turned into giant monsters, going chasing after Peter and Crystal, letting them know that the 3 days are almost up. Crystal says that there is a story that has a tower, the Devil's Tower, that the stories and dreams are all connected, telling Peter to try and raise up the ground. Not really sure what she is talking about, he tries to do it anyway, and this is where we see the ground start to come up. A giant rock pillar. It jettisons them into the sky, one pillar after another, Peter swinging off of each of these. That is when we see a gateway open up, and it brings us into a fiery city. They are now well into the maze, a maze of story and dreams. But Peter is starting to understand that maybe he's not the one that needs to be here. Maybe he is just meant to bring Crystal here, that he is the delivery system for a good medicine. As they make their way on the ground trying to figure out what they're gonna do, Spider-Man constructs a web shield for Crystal to be able to use and defend herself. When they turn around, what they have are the manifestations of Peter's mind, the characters in his story. This just so happens to be the Avengers along with a handful of other individuals. Demonic dream versions of the Avengers, they attack Spider-Man, and Spider-Man doesn't hold back, decapitating Captain America, using the Hulk as a human shield as Iron Man blasts right through the back of his head, cutting off the arm of Thor and taking Mjolnir with his webbing and slinging it all over the place. Laying down this kind of destruction, Crystal tells him to stop, that he has to get control, because if he doesn't, he will become just like them. This is where Peter grabs hold of her and they go slinging out of here. Peter letting it be known that something broke inside of him. But Crystal says that they have to glue themselves back together, that they cannot feel themselves with rage. This is when they figure out that maybe that rock on his chest, it is more than they have been saying. The stone, it is the center of the maze, that they can go through the stone, the golden spiral. With Peter putting his hand into the stone, he goes through everything, birth, life, death, over and over again. The pattern keeps repeating with each iteration. The dreams mix with reality. He sees every version of himself in every instance across every universe all at once. Everything is nothing, and nothing is everything. As they come out the other side, what they see, what they are staring at, is what Peter could have become if he had let this sickness consume him. He sees what would have happened if he had let these stories fill him up with rage and violence. And while Crystal tries to defend Peter, somewhere he hears a familiar voice of his pal Bird saying stories can heal, but stories can also harm. And this story stone is ready to lay down a serious hurting. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Another hugely psychedelic run, jumping from reality to dreamscape, to the junction between reality and the dreamscape to the dreamscape. This is jumping all over the place. We are also seeing that Peter Parker is very susceptible to being overtaken by rage and violence. That this place offers it up so easily, and it is the easy path to go down. But like Peter said, he is just the delivery system. Spider-Man is being used to inject Crystal into this maze. It seems like she is the one to be able to get to the heart of this and truly figure out the story that is being told. That Crystal is much more significant than just a scientist. That she is a storyteller. And right now the stories are out of whack. The stars are not aligned properly. And so to fix all of this, Peter Parker has brought Crystal into this maze, into the very heart, the center of everything. and it will be up to the two of them to save all of reality from this dreamscape world. So let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to get completely caught up on everything going on with Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything going on with this mini-series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon having 5 different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to getting comics every single month. Not only does this help out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you are unable to do any of that, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.